Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. Welcome to our World Hour Power Show. Wow, we was off for the last week, and we're back again as usual. And those of you who do not know who I am, I'm Lady Pauline, and my co-host, Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the Honorable Mayor of Sutton Boulevard.
Well, thank you, Lady Pauline. Good to see you. Good to be back.
Yeah.
And we have a tremendous guest today. We've got Stefanie Alleyne. She's the Director of Small Business and Workforce Development at United Way of New York City. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so great. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how do you, and of course, we're going to get to how the folks get a hold of you. But let's start with what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you so very much for having me on the show today. And I also want to give a special thanks to my colleague, Tawana Ham, for connecting me with this opportunity. So thank you all so very much. My name is Stefanie, and I'm the Director of Small Business and Workforce Development at Together We Thrive Black Business Network, which is an initiative that is also a coalition that is birthed from the United Way of New York City. And our purpose is really to work with, I like to think of micro to mid-sized Black-owned businesses within the 5 boroughs, offering supports that can really help to develop self-sufficiency and success and survival post-pandemic. And so we do that in a few ways. We do that through making referrals to technical assistance, peer-to-peer networks. We have a coaching and mentorship program, as well as trying to make sure we build connections and referrals to other community-based organizations.
Wait a minute. That is so good.
Much.
Give
Yes.
me, because I really want our listeners to hear those services, because
Sure.
those services are so important when you're creating your business. So give it to us again, please.
Sure, and I can go a little bit in depth if you'd like.
Please do,
But
yes.
we work a lot with our partners, which are small business development centers, community development financial institutions like Greater Jamaica, to really connect businesses to the services that they need and the supports that they need. And again, micro to mid-sized Black-owned businesses in all 5 boroughs, to really help them access the technical assistance, the financial assistance, and the peer-to-peer networks and mentorship supports that they need in order to survive post-pandemic.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Wow. And how long have you been doing this job?
So I personally have been with United Way since May of last year, but this work has really been in existence since 2020. Our then CEO and president, Sheena Wright, was, very visionary, and she is very visionary, just understanding and seeing the pandemic, its impact on the Black community, not just in terms of the amplification of, disparities in health, but also the disparities in wealth. And I think 2020 was sort of this storm where we saw up close, personal, front and center, the death of George Floyd.
Yes.
And the death of Breonna Taylor. And those injustices really had an impact, not just on our community, but I think nationally and globally. And so a lot of banks and foundations really had the need or saw the need to kind of counteract the imbalance that many institutions sort of created for Black business owners and for Black people in the creation of wealth.
It was really a wake-up call. You're absolutely
was.
right. And I was actually surprised that it was as global a conversation as it became. And of course, the pandemic contributed because people were, captivated by their TV pretty much, and so they were present to what was going on and shared it. So this initiative is really very, very important, especially for our community, especially with those micro to small businesses that normally don't get a lot of services and don't have the access to a lot of services and or the opportunity.
Yeah. United Way is frequently seen as a funder, but we are also a convener, bringing people, thought partners, thought leaders, influencers to the table to create programs that really impact communities. And as I was mentioning earlier, Sheena, who was then president and CEO, really saw the need and really drove to create this initiative to address the wealth gap and the disparities, economic disparities that were, as I had mentioned, amplified by the pandemic.
So what type of businesses do you work with?
So currently in our network, we have about 219 businesses and counting. And, part of doing this show is to make sure that the message of our existence really gets out there and really kind of vibrates through the airwaves and beyond, so that we can really get as many folks as possible across the 5 boroughs. But we have businesses that have anywhere from 1 employee to 25 employees, making annual revenue of $250,000 or less. Not saying that we don't accept businesses that make more, but those are really the folks that have come into the network so far. In order to be part of the network, you must be 50% Black owned or more. We have LLCs, we have S corps, sole proprietorships. Those are some of the different types of businesses that we've seen through our doors.
What would you say are...
Or online doors, I should say.
Yeah,
Sorry.
True.
Everything's been remote, so.
Now, where would you say are the demographics the most? Well, what borough?
Sure. Well, we have catchment areas in pretty much all 5 boroughs. So in the Bronx, we're looking at, Mott Haven. We're looking at Mott Haven, South Bronx. In Manhattan, we're looking at Harlem and Washington Heights. Okay. In Brooklyn, we're looking at Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights. In Queens, we're looking at Jamaica, and we're also looking at, I want to say St. Albans, but Jamaica, Queens for sure. Mm-hmm. In Staten Island, we're looking at Georgetown, Stapleton. I think that's all of the 5 boroughs. So those are really the catchment areas that our businesses focus on. But we are aware that there are enclaves of, strong Black communities that exist outside of those areas, and we definitely are reaching out and expanding to those areas as well.
Now, since the pandemic, how are the businesses doing?
That's a great question. There's no one size fits all answer for that. There are it depends on the business. It depends on the business owner. Some businesses have been fortunate and have seen an increase of business during the pandemic. Some.
Are you able to pinpoint what those businesses are?
Well, of the one or two that I can think of off the top of my head, those are more restaurants. So what they've been able to do is they've been able to shift and pivot. So they have been able to go from, offering services inside of the restaurant to more catering or getting a food truck, that type of thing. Able to connect with different delivery services in order to have folks just, pick it up or pick up and go, or even just, even if you do come yourself to the restaurant, you would just, go to the door and pick up your order. So it depends on, like I said, ones that I've seen the largest ability to pivot have been the restaurants. Not saying that those are the only ones that have been able to pivot. There are some that have been able to focus on being home-based businesses, and so those are more the creatives. But even then, they may not have the storage space to accommodate all of the product that they have or all the product that they're trying to create, or even the ways they're trying to scale their business. Mm-hmm. So those are some of the ones that I've seen able to pivot and achieve success during the pandemic.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you're partnering up with small business development centers and such. What about merchants associations and the bids?
Absolutely. So right now, one of the things that there's so much to say, oh my gosh. One of the things we're working on currently is our participation in a design festival called NYC by Design. And we are working on, and let me just take a step back. NYC by Design is created by an organization, NYC by Design, that focuses on celebrating the design community. It's an international festival that's around the city, and people can either go into galleries or art spaces or wherever and hear lectures and talks and just, visit where designers create. So we decided to participate as an opportunity to elevate Black designers because we wanted to make sure that folks have opportunities to have exposure, network with other businesses, but also increase their own revenue. And so, again, accepting designers of any type, whether it's jewelry design, furniture design, culinary design, whatever type of textile, whatever type of design you are, as long as you're a Black-owned business, we're supporting that. Anyway, I say all that just to say that we are also connecting with the Bed-Stuy bid on that. And we work very closely with our partners at Perch Advisors, who also have the connection with the different bids, Flatbush bid, and a few others, to really make sure that we're connecting with the businesses, that we are reaching out to them, that they know that we exist and can, complete our intake form and join the network.
Well, we certainly want to do a little bit more business with the Sutphin Boulevard
The Sutphin
bid.
Absolutely.
And this is the director, so you're right here with the man.
So, funny story, I know the listeners don't know, but I went on a tour of Jamaica Queens yesterday, business tour. I ran into to Glenn on the tour. And it was kind of like, oh, hey, okay, great, nice seeing you. I'm totally going to connect with you. Oh, my God, this is amazing. And then we take this tour, and I hear we're going to this nail salon. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go to this Black-owned nail salon. It's wonderful. And then we pivot, and we come into the room. I see Miss Pauline. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to be your guest tomorrow. So
yes,
it's a beautiful small world, and
very.
Absolutely, this is definitely
and you were supposed to come virtually, and now I have you here in person, which is dynamite.
Indeed,
I love it.
Indeed.
Just oh my God, thank God.
It really speaks to the support and the connection that small businesses have with each other, and the ability to expand our conversation and to broaden our networks.
But also, I think it's evidence that we are, as much as we can with COVID restrictions, we are here. Like, Together We Thrive is here. We are present. We are in the community. We are engaging. We are wanting to know who the businesses are. We are wanting to see you in your spaces. We are wanting to do and read and understand community needs assessments. One of the other things that really I think was a disparity that the pandemic amplified was tech access and internet speeds.
Yes.
If you are a business and you don't exist on some kind of digital platform, if you don't exist in the online space, the question becomes, do you exist?
Yes.
And then what happens from there is that that makes or breaks whether your business exists.
I want to say something on that. We didn't have a show last week, and I know the audience noticed it, but it was because our internet service was down. And we couldn't figure out, what was going on, because the bill was paid,
That's always where we go first. Wait, whoa. I paid my bill.
We paid the bill, and we kept switching the different functions and the lights, and nothing came on. And we was trying to go through Verizon, and they were closed. We didn't have, part of their business was closed. And we needed the repair department, and we couldn't get through to the repair department, so we had no show. We had no show all week because the internet just came up when you came through the door. So it's been up like an hour now. And our wires were cut. So a lot of times, as you said, the internet. These shows and other types of shows cannot go on without the internet. And I remember when I first started here at the station, it was so hard to get them to come to give us service. I had to report Verizon, to a few of the politicians and let them know that, my business operates through internet, and without this service, we can't, work. And they sent out a gentleman, And he actually stood by the truck and said, I can't do anything for you. This might cost you like 50 grand. We're going to have to dig up the street. And I says, no, I don't think so, because I'm right above a McDonald's that used to exist, and they had internet. I know they did. So what's the problem? So then the next week they sent out another gentleman, a black gentleman. And he came in with his ladder and went up the back way and wired everything. He said, oh, this is no problem. This is a breeze. I don't know what happened with the other gentleman. And I reported Verizon. I said, oh, no. We're here in the black community. We're providing a service. We need internet. I don't want to hear about you have to dig up the street, because that's not so.
And let me give you the backstory. So Pauline and Our World Media, Inc. Was one of 3 or 4 companies that presented to Con Edison and let them know that we needed to have a better infrastructure in downtown Jamaica. And in fact, some of the businesses along Jamaica Avenue still don't have high-speed internet into their office. Now, high-speed internet exists on Jamaica Avenue, but it hasn't been made accessible to the businesses. And of course, our business here needed, we can't survive without the internet, but there are other businesses that don't have the access to, when you swipe a credit card to get those customer services.
Yeah, POS systems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those, if you don't have a good system,
exactly.
You're not going to be able, you're going to lose sales, because you can't do everything cash. Everything is so online these days, more ways than one. So receiving money, getting money and receiving money, advertising yourselves, having a website presence, all of those things are so important in this day and age, to let people know that you're in business, what are your hours in business, and what can you get at your business.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
But I was just going to say real quick, I remember trying to have a meeting at a restaurant when I started this job. And the then VP, departed Dr. Severe, he asked me, can you call the company? And I was like, but on their website, it says such and such. It's like, yeah, just call them and make sure they're actually open. And so, just having access to, I called them and they wound up being open. But the idea is that I was able to go to their website. I was able to access that information. I was able to make the phone call. So it's just like, it also makes the case that you're a reputable company. Nowadays, that's how people are really doing the assessments. They're not going to the state and cross-checking you. They're not going to the Better Business Bureau. We're going to your website. And if your website doesn't exist, then it's just I don't know.
Yes.
And then if the phone number to connect to your website doesn't exist, then it's just that could really make or break the success.
Red flags, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, what do you also offer trainings for businesses?
So we don't directly offer trainings, and it's important for I think people to understand how United Way works. So we're more of a backbone organization. What a backbone organization does is it really brings people to the table that can help to solve the problem, which is why, when we talk about, supporting our businesses, after we do our intake with the business to assess what their short-term and long-term goals are, we're then making referrals to our partner networks. A lot of our partners are doing the work on the ground with the businesses to offer trainings and to offer one-on-one support and sort of the business advisors. So, yeah.
Good. That's very necessary.
One of the things that we often say on this show, and I'm a advocate for, is getting registered as a MWBE, a minority women based in enterprise, and is so important for our small business, especially small and micro businesses, to be part of that conversation, so that they can get access to some dollars that they may not normally have access to.
Absolutely. One of the things I would say is that we one of the partners that we work with is Queens Economic Development Corporation.
Sure.
And they do monthly workshops on MWBE, minority women business enterprise workshops, so that people can make sure that they have all of the financial information that they need, all of the application information that they need, where the application is located, who do you contact for what, so that they can successfully certify. And then we work with other organizations, because I think getting that certification is great. All right, but it's a first step.
Yes.
And I think the next step after that is, where then do you go once you get the certification, and how do you sign on to New York City Small Business Service has the passport portal. So like, how do you sign on there? What does that mean? What kind of contracts can you acquire? How do you do market research to make sure that you are tapping into the appropriate agencies within the city or the state, or even federal level, so that you can make get the contracts that you want for your business.
Okay, I see. What is your signature services?
One of the signatures, I would say a couple of things. So the way we do the intake process, right? Mm-hmm. It's very personal. We're very keen on culturally competent support. And that comes into play because we understand with our community that there might be a lack of, it's not about just sending someone information and say, here, you go figure it out. I sent you a link, you go check it out. It's not about sending someone a website or, whatever, and hoping that they figure it out. It's really having a person-to-person engagement. So it starts with that first phone call. Once you complete the intake form, which is web-based, so we are aware that it is web-based. But once you complete that form, we give you a call and we talk about the things that you put on that form. And we try to, sift through, okay, well, what are your primary needs? What are your secondary needs? What are your long-term goals? And where can we connect you to first? And just really helping businesses to kind of make sense of the resources that do exist, and then, setting you on your way where you have to go. We also do information sessions on a monthly basis. So our information sessions just give businesses information about Together We Thrive. So a lot of what we discuss on this on this program, we discuss in the information session. But the distinction is that we sign you up for certain services at the information session. So we have connection to a matching platform that we sign people up for after they've attended the information session. And we also have access to a online learning platform so that people can reskill and upskill as business owners, so that they can stay on top of the trends, become more versatile in their business and how they're conducting business. So those are some of the ways that we support. Another thing I would say as our signature service, and also in line with that culturally competent care, is our coaching and mentorship opportunities.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's talk about that. How does that, what's that in detail?
Sure. So we have corporate partners, and our corporate partners are very special because not only do they offer financial resources to support the operation of our program, but they also support people power. And so folks within these corporations will sign on, and they have to take 3 modules of training. And those 3 modules of training really help to offer a context of what is the state of Black-owned business today? What has it been historically? What are the disparities Black business owners face? We do a whole section on biases, implicit and explicit bias, to really get our volunteers to understand who they are, where they stand, even what their privilege is before they work with the businesses that we serve, and also making sure that there is clear understanding and awareness that the business owner is the subject matter expert in their business and should be believed, and their knowledge that should be prioritized, and then supporting them from there. So I would say those are the, and I believe I completed that thought, but essentially, once the mentors complete that training, then they're ready to connect with our businesses, and they offer mentorship and coaching services for either 3 months to work on a particular project. So let's say there's one specific goal that the business has in mind, and they just really need support getting over that hump, or sometimes they really just want an accountability partner. Mm-hmm. A lot of business owners are super savvy, super motivated, but sometimes they just kind of need that check-in partner or thought partner. That's what the mentors provide. And then we have coaching, which is more of an ongoing basis. basis. And so we do a check-in at the 3-month mark just to make sure that the coach wants to continue to work with the business. And if both parties say yes, they continue that relationship on.
Oh, this is awesome.
Now, is there a fee associated with the mentors and the coaching?
That's a great question. All of this is completely free.
Wow.
Free of charge.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Woo.
So this is a great opportunity for me to just plug our website. So www.togetherwethrivenyc.org. You can find us there, and I'm more than happy to share any links or information that could be helpful to you. We also have a general phone number as well for folks to call. I don't remember it off the top of my head, so I'm not gonna mess that up and give anyone the wrong information, but I can totally find that in.
Okay. This is awesome. What troubles me is that a lot of businesses that doesn't even realize that there's help out there and where to go to get it.
Yeah.
And Together We Thrive this is just awesome because you have the coaching, you have somebody to like actually hold your hand and walk through, all the details of operating a business or starting a business and what it entails, because it's a lot. Because I know, actually pull your hair out.
I was going to ask, I know that one of the things that I've come up against is that a lot of small businesses, especially businesses of color, have issues with access to capital. And do you have some partners that provide access to capital as well?
Absolutely. So we work very closely with, I said earlier, community development financial institutions.
Right.
And the reasons why is because they are they work as alternatives to larger banks, and they tend to be more generous in the lending practices to Black-owned businesses. So we work primarily with True Fund. We also work with Greater Jamaica, but that's also another area where we're looking to expand those relationships as well.
Yeah, we've worked with a few CDFIs as well, and we will. I can share you some of the contacts that we've made over the years as well. But both of those are great companies to work with. Yeah.
And also want to say through our Small Business Development Center partners, they too connect businesses to CDFIs as well. So just wanted to
Right, and you also have business solutions. We have a small business support center here right on Sutphin Boulevard, 9027 Sutphin Boulevard on the 4th floor, and they also provide some financing opportunities as well. So that's another location and another business partner that certainly you guys have been working with. Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, please give out your website again and everything, your phone number.
Absolutely. So I got the phone number because I do understand that there are folks who are phone-based. So our number is 212-251-2425. Again, that's 212-251-2425 to contact Together We Thrive. And our website is www.togetherwethrivenyc.org. I also wanted to mention some of the other partners we work with.
Yes,
so
please do.
We couldn't really do what we do without support of Perch Advisors, who I had mentioned earlier, that have a lot of the relationships with the merchants associations and the bids. But also we do a lot of support. We get a lot of support from Hester Street. So shout out to Vanessa and Jim. Jim helped Jim helped put together the tour we took yesterday. And so just wanted to make sure we kind of shout out the team as a whole, not one person individual, but the team as a whole, both of them. We also do work with BNYC, which is Black Entrepreneurs NYC. They are a division of the New York City Small Business Services, so hello to them as well. And again, as I had mentioned, our partners over at the Small Business Development Center, Chambers of Commerce, Queens Public Library, some of the others that we work with. Just to name a few of them.
Wow. Now, you said that you work with the public library. So are you working with the Queens Public Library out here in Jamaica, in Merrick Boulevard? Okay, so I guess you know Mr. Ralph McDaniels. You all work with him because he does a lot of shows for Jamaica.
I have not had the direct access with him, but it doesn't mean that someone else in our one of my colleagues hasn't had that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Right now we're getting ready to go to commercial break, and we'll be back with this conversation. You're listening to Our World, Our World Power. Thank you.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it. Gonna get it, gonna slip it, gonna cuff it. Check it, talk to doctor and share it.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
What do we do?
You may not be able to plan ahead for a ghost encounter,
Under the dining table now!
but you can plan ahead for natural disasters. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts.
Maybe it's the apocalypse.
Know your evacuation routes and decide on a safe emergency meeting location.
Here? I know. I would have picked Orlando.
Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. So pass the Proton Pack to the next generation and visit ready.gov/plan to get started.
Ever hear the one about the frog? Put a frog in a pot of boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in a pot of cool water and slowly heat it up, and that frog will boil. It's a lie. But as a metaphor for us and all that we go through as veterans,
real-world experience.
it's a story that rings true. We make excuses for how we feel. We push everything down. We tell ourselves the lie that it's easier to stay in that boiling water, to disconnect. And some days, maybe, it is. But you've never been interested in easy. Reaching out is hard. Do it anyway. You're not alone. You've got this. You are not a frog.
Find resources at va.gov/reach. When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
Okay, redevelopment.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're back.
Oh, my goodness. That was a very quick commercial. Glenn, you want to continue with anything that you...
Well, I just wanted to, along the lines of opportunities coming up, JFK's got an internship and recent graduate positions that they're looking for, both for the May timeframe, May 2022. They'll have, you can connect with them and find out a little bit more about it on, at the JFK Redevelopment Community Information Center, which is now open on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The number is 718-244-3834, or you can get a hold of them at JFK Redevelopment at PANYNJ.gov. So those are some of the upcoming opportunities. They also have got a, we talked about MWBE, Minority Women Business Enterprises. They have a certification webinar coming up. And they are hiring security, and they've got a host of partner events coming up. So go to their website and give them a call.
And Glenn, isn't your jazz festival starting?
Well, we're going to get to that. I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of, we talked about certifications earlier, and Port Authority has a certification as well. So in addition to becoming an MWBE certified, you can also get Port Authority certified, which gives you access to some of the billions of dollars that are going to be funding JFK redevelopment as well. Stephanie, you had something else you were going to add?
I did. One thing that I wanted to mention is two things. One is that we do have a newsletter that we offer at the beginning of the month to our network. And so we love for folks to share information like that because we add it to our newsletter, but also social media. So we have a pretty robust Instagram page where we share resources, and we also highlight and profile businesses. So shout out to Theo for making that as wonderful as it is. But yeah, and so if you have resources that you'd like us to share out to the community, we are more than happy to do that. And so, please send that along, and I'll make sure you have my email.
Okay. All right.
That's awesome.
So give us your information again.
Sure.
How
so
they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. So you can go to the website www.togetherwethrivｅnyc.org. That is for businesses to sign up and register and just get more information about the state of Black-owned businesses in New York City. We also have a Black Business Directory in partnership with Live XYZ and BNYC, where you can go and actually see certified Black-owned businesses on that live map. So that's also on our website. You can email us, twtinfo@uwnyc.org. And
give it to us again.
Sure, I'll do slow. twinfo@uwnyc.org. That is our general email address. So you just email us. Or you can give us a call. Our number is 212-251-2425.
And how do they get a hold of you if they want to talk to you?
Definitely through our general contact. So twtinfo@uwnyc.org. I know how informal this sounds, but I do check our direct messages on Instagram. I do.
Okay, all right.
On Instagram, I just want to make sure I get our handles correct, but it's Together We Thrive BBN. That's our handle on Instagram. And so, if you message us there, right now, we're looking for designers to participate in our Queens, Harlem, and Brooklyn NYC by Design events. If folks have questions, I've definitely responded there. I've definitely communicated with businesses because sometimes I'll call a business and maybe their phone's not working or something like that, but their Instagram is on, and so I just hit them up there. Another thing I love about our intake process is, again, with that person-to-person contact, we follow you. So I'm calling folks, doing or even Tawana is calling folks. And we're doing that intake, and we typically have our phone right next to us, and so we'll go on Instagram and what's your handle? Okay, cool. Following you now. So we follow you back. We want to make sure that you feel part of the network, and we feel part of your network, that you can reach out to us. You know who we are, and we know who you are. So yeah.
So when is the design phase actually going to be happening?
Sure. NYC by Design, we're participating. We're organizing for 3 different dates. So we have May 11th, that's going to be in Harlem. May the 14th, that's a Saturday, that's going to be in Brooklyn, Marcy Plaza. And our last date is going to be May 18th, and we will be at the Harvest Room in Greater Jamaica Development Center.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're right here.
Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. I always wanted to, I'm so sorry. Greater Jamaica Development Corporation.
Corporation, yes.
I'm so sorry.
No problem.
That's
Okay, great.
right in our neighborhood.
Yes, it will.
And that's the key. The key is that we are supporting Black designers, and we're doing it on our turf.
You can see Tawana on the...
Really?
Hey, Tawana.
Hi, Tawana. Hi, Miss Ham. How are you, girl?
You can see her on Facebook. She just responded.
Oh, she just responded? Yeah.
She actually responded earlier, but we were in the middle of a conversation, so I didn't want to break the conversation.
Well, I didn't want to break the fourth wall either, so I'm just don't look at the camera.
Yeah, Tawana, thank you very much. It was awesome contact.
Well,
You're great.
I just wanted to let folks know that we will be reinstituting the Air Train Jazz Festival. It will be on Thursdays we're looking to start this Thursday between 5 and 7, and we'll go on till the end of June. So we'll be on the second level near the elevators across from the Air Bar, and we'll be featuring live jazz. And we were contacted actually by a local comedian, and we may, so it's 2 45-minute sets, and then we have a 20-minute break for the musicians. So we're looking at maybe having a comic act in between. So we're not sure yet, but Sutphin Boulevard Bid will co-sponsor it with A Better Jamaica. Greg Mays and myself will be coordinating the activities. And basically what we're doing is we are, Tawana said, hey. What we'll be doing is we kind of cut off the 2020 concert series. So we're reinstituting the artists that were part of that period, because of course March everything got shut down, and so we'll be bringing those musicians back to complete that particular cycle, and we'll go till the end of June, June 28th. So we're looking forward to having them back and just having some more fun. Now that the Port Authority is opening back up.
Isn't that great, Glenn?
Yes, it is.
Things are just opening back up.
Yeah.
I see Sutphin Boulevard is just blooming, with activities, and that's great. That's great for the economy. And I also want to say before I leave is you're listening to Our World, Our Power Show. Please do not forget to follow us on Instagram at Our World Media. And don't forget also to listen to us on WGJSradio.com. Mostly all of our shows are also heard on WGJSradio.com.
And we're on Roku, Apple TV, Spotify.
iHeartRadio.
And iHeartRadio, yes.
Yeah, how
yes,
could we forget our
forgetting
iHeartRadio? Yeah. And as I said, please don't forget to follow us on Facebook.com, Our World Media. And it's been a great show today. I'm honored to have had this brilliant lady.
Aw.
Yes.
Thank you.
She's a director of social business and development. And Together We Thrive. I like that name, Together We Thrive.
Yeah.
It sounds like the whole bringing everybody together.
Well,
Sounds like a coalition.
It really is
Yes.
about working together and,
Yes.
and as a group, as a team moving forward, and that's encouraging. I think that's something that we as people of color and businesses of color have to do more of in order for all of us to progress and to gain the economic opportunities that are out there in the world.
I would agree. And you know what? I just wanted to take a quick moment to just highlight a couple of businesses that are within our networks that are Queens based.
Okay.
We get businesses from all sorts of places. And so a few that I just want to mention, we have Bevo's Kitchen and Nature's Made Snacks. Those are two different snack companies that we have that utilize the entrepreneur space in Queens Economic Development Corporation. She is May Leonora. She is a wonderful MWBE certified business that works to bring art, social justice, and really just female empowerment together. We also have TSOQ Cross Country. So if you're looking for printing needs, they do provide that. And what could I be if I did not mention Miss Dawn Kelly's Nourish Spot?
Dawn, you're kidding me. I love Dawn. Where are you, Dawn, out there? Hi, girl.
Dawn. I was just at Nourish Spot yesterday. I love the model of her business. I love the way she gives back and she supports young people, young entrepreneurs. We definitely need more of that. So super, super grateful to her and love her business and love all of our businesses.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I love Dawn. She's a great friend. And as a matter of fact, she was our first advertiser. Yeah, for Our World. And I always mention that. Great. I love her mango smoothies. Oh, good Lord, have mercy.
I had one of her wraps, and I didn't buy one yesterday, but now I'm thinking about it because I mean it had the chickpea and the wrap was right, and the sauce they put on. I was like,
Yeah.
it was good.
They do a good job.
Yeah.
They really do.
So,
As a lot of small black businesses in our community, so we definitely want to honor them
Yes.
by voting with our dollars to support them.
yes, that's very
Absolutely.
important. Well, we're getting ready to wind down the show. Glenn, how can people reach you if they need to?
They can reach me at 718-291-2110. That's at Sutphin Boulevard Bid. You can also send us Sutphin, SUTPHIN, BLVDBID at Verizon.net. So you can send us a email or check us out on our website.
Okay, and one last time, how can people reach you?
Absolutely. So our website is www.togetherwethrivｅnyc.org. Our email is twinfo@uwnyc.org. Or if you want to hit us up on our old landline, we have 212-251-2425.
And this is Lady Pauline, and you can reach me at 646-340-7271. And don't forget to buy me a coffee. It's very important. I need a few cups of coffee very well. So anyway, thank you all for listening, and catch you all next week here at Our World Our Power Show. Take care.
See you next week.